My name is Andrew Heil.
I'm Carter Hollow.
Fisher.
And today we're going to be talking about how to create a budget in Excel. Budgeting is essential for managing personal finances, especially for college students and young adults living independently. Microsoft Excel is a powerful, customizable tool for creating and tracking a monthly budget. Today, I'll walk you through how to build a simple, functional budget in Excel. We will look at this pre-made template, explain why creating or altering your budget can be beneficial, and our budget will focus on three main categories: income, expenses, and savings.
So, creating a budget isn't very hard, but sticking to it is where most people tend to struggle. Remember, when you are creating a budget, that it doesn't help you at all unless you're staying disciplined enough to follow it on a monthly basis. Sticking to your budget allows you to have long-term stability with your finances and it can also help you stay stress-free when making important financial decisions down the road. The main steps to this budgeting tool are how to create your budget by calculating your income, expenses, and surplus or deficit, and then also using various tools or strategies for tracking your spending, and then also applying the 50-30-20 rule to your budget, which we'll get into later. So first of all, you're going to want to list all of your sources of income. This could include any regular weekly paychecks that you get or maybe a side hustle that you have. And after you've calculated those numbers, you can go ahead and put them in the Excel sheet just like we have for you here. So this person is getting a $4,500 salary and $500 out of freelance work every month. Next, you're going to want to identify all of your fixed expenses, which we have listed here. These are rent, utilities, insurance, subscriptions, and then you may also have some other ones that you want to throw in there. But just place these values into your Excel sheet and label them accordingly as we have. And then lastly, you're going to want to add your variable expenses. These include things such as groceries, dining out, gas or car payments, entertainment, and then other miscellaneous variable expenses. The variable expenses may be more difficult because you have to add up multiple payments you made throughout the month. And then at the end here, itemize and put each of these expenses into the Excel sheet like we have. So next we're going to calculate if you have a surplus or deficit. So after you've entered your income and any expenses that you have, this is where you're going to want to do this. So to do this, we just use an easy Excel formula. So you add up all of your incomes and then subtract all of the expenses from that. So if your expenses exceed your income, you found yourself in a deficit, which means that you'll have to cut back on your expenses, obviously. And that can mean eating out less and cooking less for yourself or cooking more for yourself to save some money. Or it could be something as simple as like canceling a Netflix subscription. If you have a surplus in your budget, that means that you have leftover money to invest in your future, and that'll bring us to the 50-30-20 rule.
The 50-30-20 rule tells us how much money we want to allocate into these three categories: needs, wants, and savings. The 50% applies to how much money you should be spending on your needs. This list includes your housing, food, utilities, insurance, or your transportation if you have a vehicle. The recommended amount of your income that should be going towards your housing is around 25 to 30% of your income. So if it's not too difficult, try to find a place to live that allows you to stay under that limit. The other 20 to 25% can go towards the rest of those necessities. The 30% number goes towards things you want to spend your money on but don't necessarily need to. This includes things like dining out, subscriptions, entertainment, travel, etc. If your needs require you to spend more than 50% of your income, then you will want to pull some money out of your wants category. The last 20% applies to how much money you will be putting towards savings and retirement. If your place of employment offers a retirement plan with employer matching, I would recommend taking advantage of that. If you are knowledgeable about investing, you could purchase various stocks, bonds, ETFs, mutual funds, or an additional retirement account through a brokerage dealer. If not, you can always go through a financial advisor to help you set something up. You should also have an emergency fund set up in a savings account that can cover up to 3 to 6 months of living expenses, just in case you must cover medical expenses or vehicle repairs. The order of operations in the 50-30-20 rule should be to make sure all of your needs are met, that you have an emergency fund and retirement account set up, and then you can spend your money on wants.
So why should people use this budgeting tool other than like some pre-built budgeting templates? So the purpose of using one of these lies in the importance of hands-on learning and also maximum customization. Like each person is going to have a completely different budget, so the Excel sheet is going to look very different from one another. So having the opportunity to make your own template is crucial to actually understanding your own budget. And then this template here also integrates the 50-30-20 budgeting rule, which that helps users establish a balanced approach to allocating income, whereas a pre-made template does not offer that insight.
For the conclusion, creating a personal budget in Microsoft Excel is not just about the spreadsheets like we've shown you. It's about a real-world skill that can boost your financial health. This guide teaches students and young adults how to manually build a budget based off of a real income and expenses, helping them understand where their money goes each month. While Excel templates are convenient, building a budget from scratch like this creates a stronger connection to your financial habits and encourages smarter decision making with your money. With simple tools, formulas, and charts, you can easily track your progression or your progress over time using the 50-30-20 rule like we did earlier in the video. Dividing income into needs, wants, and savings makes it easier to stay balanced. By sticking with it, you'll gain confidence to meet goals like saving for emergencies, paying off debt, and investing. This guide isn't just about making a budget, it's about making lifelong financial skills.